Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be a full face makeup look where I try out my office Christmas party look. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today I wanted to do a bit of a trial. My office Christmas party is this week and I was like, you know what? I can do a full face makeup look where I show you how to put the look together. The office Christmas party is disco themed, so I thought a neutral eye, a bold lip. I don't want to go full 70s. I already have a very sparkly dress that I probably plan on wearing, so I want the makeup to be a little bit more classic. And so it's just going to be a very classic, whatever you want to do for the holiday season kind of look, I feel. So I'm just going to put some makeup on my face. If I look tired, it's because I am. It's been crazy busy at work. I discovered a leak in my water heating system last Friday. And at the same time, my body has decided to go through a trauma release. So I'm just doing peachy. One more week until Christmas break. Just one more week until Christmas break and I have all the time to sleep and rest. So I just need to make it through this week. So yeah, if I look a little tired, that's why. So starting off with the Lip Peptide by Catrice. This is the Pillow Plush Peptide Lip Mask. This is nice, but I do find it's a little bit rich. And I like to put it on at the start of my makeup so that it has time to sink in. And by the time I get to lipstick, it actually has sunken into my lips enough for it to prevent any dryness. But I do feel because it is so rich, it does kind of mess up my foundation when I apply it around my mouth. But I just got to deal with it. But it is a good product. Grabbing a tissue here, and that means it is time to prime the face. I'm going to be using the Essence Bouncy Plump Primer. Why? Because it's in my Shop My Stash. I wanted to make sure that this is also a video where you can see a couple of the things that are in my Shop My Stash going onto my face. Because that's what I sometimes like to do when I do a full face makeup look, and there's a reason why this makeup is in my Shop My Stash to begin with, because I like it if it's an older product, or because I was testing it out. I don't think, now for this makeup look, I'm not going to be using any of the new bits that were in my Shop My Stash, but these are all tried and true, things I know work for me, so. And this Bounce and Plump by Essence, I mean, it's a good primer, but I do need 3 pumps of it for it to work. My hair is absolutely all over the place today. What's going on? It's one of those things, you don't want to see how I woke up this morning. It was just, I was such a mess. I woke up, I went to bed super early last night because I went to a yoga class yesterday and I felt everything was popping and clicking in my back. And I was like, okay, I think there's a couple of things loosening up. And it did. So I woke up this morning and my hair was piled on top of my head. It was I'd done a handstand in bed. You know, that's what I looked like. So it was fun. So that's the face primer done. And while that has a little bit of time to sink in, I'm going to go in with my eye primer, which is another step I like to do. Here is the Milani eyeshadow primer. And I like to do something that I have dubbed double priming my lids. So if you're also someone like me who's got deep set eyes, or maybe you have hooded eyes and everything creases on you, I find that using a little bit of technique can actually prevent from your eyeshadow to crease too badly. And one step is to use a primer like the Milani, so a really thin, almost sheer, lightweight primer, which again, you let set. So I'm going to do this at the start of my makeup so that it has time to marinate and really sort of become that base that's going to then be able to stick to the eyeshadow and it prevent it from creasing. So that's why I like to do this step. And then I have another primer that I like to use more so for the coverage level. I have found that just using a concealer, which is what a lot of people say you can do, doesn't work for me because a lot of the concealers I need for my face are too rich and creamy to go onto my eye area and they will crease because there are just too many emollient factors in there. And I need something that's going to help stick things down. So that's why I do that. My face looks red. It's because I touched it. It just happens. Don't know why. It's just how my skin reacts to touch. How fun. So we're going to go into foundation because the primer has had a few minutes to sort of sink in and do its job. And this is currently in my Shop My Stash. It's by Unleashia. It's their cushion foundation. This is the pink version. I think it's called the Don't Touch Glass Pink Cushion. This is in the shade 21N, and apparently this is a perfect shade for people with an olive undertone. Now, I'm not necessarily olive, so this isn't my perfect shade match, but it does in a pinch. And where most cushions will have like a mesh, this actually has a pump on the side, and I need to cover it because else I'm going to be covered in foundation. So the foundation comes in through those holes, and then you have it on the pad. And then the way I like to do this is that I touch my face in 4 different places, and then I use this to just pat it into the skin. It's that easy. And I thought at a certain moment this month that this was almost out. It's not. It's still going strong. So I don't know what I was thinking, but that's because I had this Parnell cushion that dried up super quickly. So maybe because this has the pump, you do get all of the product out. Who knows? So if you think, Micah, that's far too pale for you, no, it's not. It matches my neck, and that's what I look for. Because my face tends to get so red after I touch it, my face looks darker when I apply makeup than what it actually is. So, just so you know. And I like to press it in around the perimeter, just to make sure there are no harsh lines, and I sort of drag it down my neck, and then you can see it's a perfect match. So like I said, it's not perfect because it does have a slight green tint to it, which isn't the best, but it's good enough for me to be using it up. So like that. And then I'm just going in with a little bit of Kiko concealer here on the under eyes. This is the skin tone concealer. Mine is running very low. I'm not sure if you can see it in this lighting. It's perhaps a little bit too bright, but there's like just this amount left. So I'm trying to use it up before the end of the year. Not sure if that will happen, but I just like to go in with a little bit, just a couple of touches on the under eye, and then using a super fluffy brush to blend it out. And I take it into the inner corner to sort of help blend that foundation. I need to wash my brushes as well. Like, I feel so behind on things at the minute. Oh. And then we're gonna sort of set all of this into place. I don't like too many like heavy layers, so I'm just gonna use a little bit of the Kosas Cloud Set here to help set things in place and make it look a little less glowy. I feel it's a little too much glow, so I don't really use powder to set my face. I mainly use it to take away like the worst of the shine. I do like a very glowy cheek though, so I don't touch that with powder. And this one, it's very, very used. So, and then just around the T-zone, where I tend to get a little bit of like shine that I don't want. I don't get oily. And then just to help set that just a touch, and help set that just a touch, and then right here between the brows. That's all I do for powder. And then just because I have a little bit of like darkness here, I do like to go in with a little bit of extra powder up here, so that when I apply bronzer in a sec, it doesn't like wipe away the foundation. So that's there for that reason. Let's do brows next. I need to get my brows done. I came home from vacation after Japan this summer and decided I was not going to have my brows done for the next 6 months because I really wanted to like just have them grow out and just be its natural shape. I find that if you get your brows done too often, especially because I get them like threaded with like a little bit of piece of thread, they pull out your hairs. I find that if I do that too often, my brows lose their shape completely and they become too thin. So I like to like just let them hang loose every once in a while and just like let them grow out. I do have an appointment booked. So at the start of my Christmas vacation, one of the first things I'm gonna do is get my brows done. So if you thought my brows looked a little crazy in some of my images, that's why. And I'm currently not using my favorite brow products because I used up my Soap and Glory brow pencil. Yes, it's all gone. This is the Catrice Slimmatic Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Blonde. So, especially at the drugstore, it can be difficult for blondes to find brow pencils that aren't too warm toned. And as you can see, this is nice and ashy. Because my brows are now so much bigger than usual, I do need quite a bit of product to fill in all the gaps. And you can see, like, this is what I mean, like, with me not having a lot of lid space. It always looks like I've got more lid space because I get them threaded. But if I let my brows just, like, grow naturally, you can see how far they go, low they go. Like, there's, like, brow hairs coming in on all the way down here. And also over on this side, like, my brows sort of, like, frame my entire eye area, which is why I get them done, so I can actually have a bit more space to do eyeshadow in. But most of the time, I cannot really, like, pull shadow out because this comes down so far. It doesn't really work for me. It doesn't suit my eye shape. And then we're going to go in with another Catrice product. That's why I selected the Catrice pencil. I was like, might as well make the Catrice combo. This is the Color and Fix Brow Gel Mascara, also in the shade Blonde. So this is 010. And this is nice enough. I kind of bought it in a pinch because I do have a couple of clear brow gels, but I just like them to be a little bit more tinted and have them have a little bit more hold. So this is sort of like my second favorite, but my favorite, the Essence Make Me Brow, has been sold out of my shade for months now, and I haven't been able to find it. So I hope over Christmas break to be able to go through some stores again and find my Essence one. This is fine. It works in a pinch. But my issue with most brow gels, even more expensive ones, is that they either dry up really quickly or that within like a couple of months of use, they start to smell really funky, sometimes within weeks, and they become a little bit gloopy, which I find not helpful. Essence is the only one I can use from opening all the way until it's like truly, truly gone, empty, without it like expiring in between. So I do value that as well in a product. So now it's time, because my face has had time to like marinate and like let it do its thing. We're going to go in with bronzer, blush, and highlight. And for bronzer, we're going in with a classic here on the channel. This is the Kiko Milano Flawless Fusion in shade 1. I decided to select it again, but you can see, like, can you see? I had to scrape it down a couple of months ago because it got hard pan, and it's absolutely fine again now. So I don't know what happened there, but there's like actual like, I think I'm trying, like, close to hitting pan on this. It could still be a while. I've had the idea that I was going to hit pan on my Fenty Beauty bronzer for like 2 years until it finally happened. So it could very well be that, but oops, there's hair everywhere today. My hair is not behaving. So I just like to go in and like dust it around my face, and then a little bit of bronzer here on the cheeks. I don't do much when it comes to bronzer, and I like this shade because it adds warmth, but it never looks muddy on me, which I enjoy. My next step is the Fenty Beauty How Many Carats Diamond Balm Highlighter. I love this for the Christmas season, so I knew I had to select it for this Shop My Stash. I just have the mini, and I feel I only need a little bit of this. And this shows up so beautifully on your cheeks in low lighting levels. So this is not going to be true to how it's going to look. But if it's like a candlelight situation, that's when the little sparkles come through. And I think for holiday and disco theme, it's going to be perfect. So I just like to go like find the highest point of my cheek. You can see the natural highlight already going in there. And that's what I use. And I sort of go around my brow. And I just keep it really focused around the eye area. This is another reason why I don't like to like bring my eyeshadow out too far when I get to the eyeshadow, because that's already where the highlighter is. So I really sort of like just follow my bone structure, you could say. So here is the Fenty Beauty on my face. And that means that it's time for the blushed blush from MUA. This is their liquid blush. It's a dupe for the Cloud Paints by Glossier, and I like these just as much, maybe even better, because they come in better shades for me. The Glossier tend to be very, very warm toned. This is in the shade Rouge Noir. Here's a shade, and you might think, Micah, that's far too dark for you. You are so fair-skinned, and especially with this foundation that makes me look really pale at the beginning. Here's what it looks like on the back of my hand. Watch what happens if I shear it out onto my cheeks. So I just pick it up with my finger. I swirl it around so that it's evenly spreaded. But then I don't even go in straight with that. I spread it onto my other finger. And the warmth of my fingers helps to spread the product around. And you can see, like, compared to even this, that it's not that intense. And then when I start applying it, I sort of go in between the bronzer and the highlight for this. And I kind of find like the apple of my cheek, and then I sort of work my way around it from there. And then you can see that if you just build up in sheer layers, that you can find it. Oh, and I find the apple of my cheek by smiling, but then before I touch my face, I let it drop. Because when you smile, your cheeks go up. And then when you drop it, that's the point where I want to be. So I do the smiley technique, but I sort of just use it as a guideline, and I don't apply it while smiling. Also because as I've gotten older, when I smile, I get these little creases around my eyes. So it's not that helpful for makeup application, I find. And then I find I look a little bit too pale, so I still have some on the back of my hand. So I just pick up some more, and we go in, and we intensify the blush ever so slightly. And if I feel I've done too much, I can take my foundation brush, or today I mainly use the brush for concealer, of course, so I can use that to tone it down if I want. But this has been my favorite blush this month. I really, really like it, so that way we have a nice blushy look. So we have the cheeks done, we have the brows done, which means it's time for eyes. And for this, I'm gonna have a mirror straight in front of me. So if I look down a little bit, then that's why, because I just need to see what I'm doing. And I will try to zoom in this part so you can see the eyes a little bit better. I have a little bit of creasing there from the concealer I had to put all over because there was too much. I try to, like, if I need to blend my concealer, I try to just keep it in this area and not go over the mobile lid because it looks messy. But here comes the second primer. I always use a MAC Paint Pot for this, but you can use whatever skin tone primer you may have on hand. You don't need this product. I just like this one. I've been using it for years. It's just my go-to at this point. And I'm about to hit pan on this because I can feel the glass when I stick my finger in. And I just use my fingers to apply this thing all over. So also if I don't have that much foundation or concealer that like goes everywhere around my eyes, I do tend to use this product very often to just like make sure everything around my eye area is like blended together and there's like no skin visible, you could say. And this has that tacky base that I know a lot of people want. So it is an option to set this. I like to set mine, so you'll see that in a sec. But I like that this, like having the Milani on first, is already a grippy primer. So my eyelids already feel very tacky now because it's been on for a few minutes. And I really feel like that's the trick, is to first apply the eyeshadow primer and let it sit. I don't even think you need this step in particular. You don't need two primers per se. I think the reason why my eyeshadow lasts all day usually is because I apply primer at the start of my makeup routine and I let it marinate. I really think that's the reason why. So then I take a very fluffy brush. This looks really ratty because it's super old. I've used one of these up in the past. Like, how can you use up a brush? But this is quite a cheap and cheerful brush that I picked up years ago from Hema. Because I liked the other one so much, I picked up a new one before they ever discontinued these. But it's starting to look a little sparse. That's what you have sometimes with cheaper brushes. They tend to like lose hairs over time. But the only thing I use it for is to use my skin colored eyeshadow. This also is by MAC. It goes really well with the paint pot. People always ask me if I ever use up eyeshadow. If I use up eyeshadow, it shades like this because I use it every single day. And as you can see, I've got pan on this one as well. So I think I use up like a full eyeshadow like once every 2 years. And it's always a shade like this. And I just use the lightest amount just to help set that primer in place and have a smooth canvas. You don't need this. Don't over apply this either, because if you apply too much, your eyeshadow is not going to look vibrant. I just use a little bit of eyeshadow. You could also use your face powder for this. You don't need a separate eyeshadow. That's just the way I like to do it. But this way I feel it helps with blending the shadow. I don't like a very sticky base because I feel my shadows won't blend. And for the eyeshadow, we're going to do a bit of a conglomeration of some things that I took with me traveling to London and a palette that is currently in my Shop My Stash. So I have an eyeshadow stick here from Kiko. This is the eyeshadow stick in shade 20, which is this nice sort of like deeper taupe shade. So I want to use that along the lash line to set up the look. And then I want to go over some of these That's Taupe eyeshadows from ColourPop. I always pop this on the lower lash line. I'm probably going to use this shimmer all over the lid. This is probably going to go into the crease. And then what I want to do to top it off, and this is why it's a trial, I'm going to do one eye with one shadow and the other eye with the other shadow, which is going to look crazy when I film my next video, but I think by the end of this video, I'm just going to top the other one over the other and like make it look a little bit more even. But I took these with me traveling. These are both by Josie or Juicy. I don't know how to say this. This is MT122 and this one is D114. And I just want to see which one works best. This is a beautiful like silvery taupey number. And then D114 is a little bit more glittery and sparkly. So I'm thinking this, but it's just going to be a beautiful like cool tone base look. And then I just want to do a red lip. So that's what we're going to go for. I'm going to whack this on and speed you through it. And then I'll be back with you and then you can help me decide which eyeshadow I should wear to my office Christmas party. I think that's going to be a fun game to play here. Alright, so the base of the look is done. So what did I end up doing? I think I used all different shades than what I told you. I ended up doing the Kiko Milano eyeshadow stick, as you could see. Smudge it out with a finger, because that's super easy. Then I used the shade at the top with a MAC 217 to put it in the crease. Then I went in with a Sigma E55 as a brush, and the shade in the middle to use all over the lid. That's already quite sparkly in this lighting, I have to say. But I think I can amp up the sparkles if I want to. Then I did predict correctly that I was going to use this on the lower lash line, so the deepest shimmer in the palette on this Hema, what's this called? This is the Eyeshadow Smudging 113, but it's from one of their older lines, and Hema is one of those stores here in the Netherlands that can do some really good makeup products, but they change them up all the time. So then you find something you like, and then half a year from now, it's like gone. Then I use a BK Beauty 204 for the lower lash line, and I used this like lighter, like silverish taupe along with that deeper shade just to have a little bit of lightness towards the inner corner so that it works together with this shade right here that I applied with a Sigma E30, I believe. It's so old that the name is rubbed off, so I don't remember, but it's their like little pencil brush that I always use in the inner corner, and I use that sort of like sparkly silver shade. And then just to finish things off, I intensified the top lash line with the dark brown matte on this angled Hema brush that I've again had for years, and that's still going strong and that they did like a decade ago. So that is the basis of the look done. And then I think what I'll do is that I'll do this because I was holding up this one to the left before. So this is the MT122 shade by Josie on this eye, and then this eye I'm going to coat with D114. So I'm just going to use fingers with that because that's been working really well for me. These are powder shadows, but I like applying these with my finger, and the plan is to just top this over it because I want to do this makeup, like the base makeup, in the morning when I go to work. and then only have to do like a couple of touch-ups. That's the plan, and one of the touch-up can be like the eyeshadow stick to deepen up, like make it more of a smoky eye, and then the shimmer on top. So, ooh, this is really pretty with it. It's really giving extra sparkle. You see that? It's really taking it to the next level. Put a little bit more on the brow bone. I'm just going to cover my entire eye in this. And then if I want to, I could like use my pinky to go in here as well. I'll leave it at this for a sec just to see how it goes. But that adds just a nice bit of sparkle, I feel. That's really pretty. It goes really well. So that's MT122. And then I have D114, which I'm going to use on my other eye. And I believe this is also supposed to be like a glitter. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, that's a little bit more gold when I apply it. I'm really just applying it all over, like I said. So I think the choice isn't even like how intense are these sparkles. I would have to say that this eye is now a little bit more glittery. So for a disco theme, I think this will be better. In this lighting, I can even see like it's not just golden sparkle, because also in the pan you can see it has like blue, purple, pink, and a little bit of gold with silver mixed in as well. So it's super sparkly. And like I said, this is meant to be more of a glitter. But without it being like a traditional glitter. So it's really finely milled. It's more of an eyeshadow, but as a topper, I think I like this one a little bit better for what my office Christmas party will bring than this is. I like this. I like the look of this too, though. This looks a little bit more cool tone. It has more blue in it and more like lavender shades and more silver leaning. And then this has a little bit more like blue, silver, gold. So it's a subtle change. Like if I look in the mirror that's behind my mirror, I like both. I really, really do. So I really need your help. Like, which eye do you think is better? Because here in real life, I'm like, yeah, both are pretty. Both are pretty. And if I truly want to max it out, I could also do both. Like I could put this one on the eye, the D114, and maybe I can intensify my highlight with the other eyeshadow, because I think it can work to like tap it over the blush. Because like I'm saying, like all I want to do is like be able to touch it up before I go to the office Christmas party, because I have to be at work all day. And I'm either going there directly with some colleagues, or I'm first going to go home, have a snack and a lie down, and then touch up my makeup and then go to the Christmas party. So I won't have much time to like redo my entire makeup. And I feel like these are perfect for like just adding a bunch of sparkle, but without going overboard. Really like this. It even has a hint of green. Yeah, it's really pretty. Really special. So I'm going this eye. So let me know what you want to do. I'm now going to layer these again because I do need to film another video after I film this video. And I think it's going to look a little bit crazy if I wear 2 different shades of eyeshadow. Okay, now I'm thinking maybe I should just layer them together for the party. Because that is really pretty. Like, have them layered over each other is truly bringing the extra MP sparkliness. I love this. I really like it. And now the blush makes a lot more sense because my eyes are so much more intense. So it's going to pull together, I promise. Let's apply mascara, which again, I cannot do while talking because I look like a fish when I do my mascara. I don't know about you, but I kind of like can only apply it like that. Oh, and in case you don't know, I always use 2 mascaras. I go in with a volumizing one at first. For black, I really enjoy this Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift. I know it's not the newest Maybelline mascara, but it's one I happen to really like, and it's a holy grail. I keep repurchasing it every single time it goes on sale. Because believe it or not, Maybelline mascara over here is expensive. This mascara retails for close to 20 euros by now. It's insane. Inflation has been no fun in the makeup game. And then I top it with my Catrice Glam & Doll Waterproof. This helps separate the lashes and makes my mascara not flaky or transferring at all throughout the day. I do live in the Netherlands. We have wind, we have rain, and I cycle everywhere. So having waterproof mascara is a must. And I also apply that to my lower lash line. So with the mascara done, it again looks a little bit more pulled together as well. I'm going to wipe my lips, and then of course I'm going to apply my favorite red lipstick. Here again, I do have choices. Do I want to go for my holy grail classic red Velvet Ribbon by Lisa Eldridge? Or do I want to go for my slightly more festive lipstick, which is Velvet Jazz, which is a touch deeper? And if you're wondering, but Micah, if these are your favorite, why doesn't Velvet Ribbon look that used? The one I used to have broke, so that's why I bought a new one, because I could not live without that thing in my life. But that's why that one doesn't look that used. Because red lipstick hasn't really been something I wear on the daily anymore. I used to a couple of years ago. And then as like makeup trends started to change and lip oils and lip stains and stuff became more popular, I started trying those a little bit more. But I'm really feeling like 2026 is going to be the year where I go back to my bold red lip, because it looks really good on me. If I'm biased, but I feel it looks good. So I've been sitting here recording this video, so there wasn't a lot of lip balm left, so that's taken off. I think, you know what I'll do? I'll do half with Velvet Ribbon and then half my mouth with Velvet Jazz, and we can again compare which looks best with this very sparkly eye look. So applying one half with one lipstick and the other half of my face with the other lipstick wasn't that successful. I had underestimated how difficult it would be. I'm thinking Velvet Ribbon. What about you? I feel this brightens my face a little bit more. This makes it look a little bit more glam. And this is a little bit more classic. Which one do you think I should go for? I like both. They're pretty. I think I'm going to apply Jazz because it's the darker one of the two, just so I can film my other video in a sec. So, just so you know. But I think I'm going Velvet Ribbon side. So here is the finished makeup look. Let me know in a comment down below which eyeshadow and what lipstick you feel I should wear. I will be posting this on Tuesday. My office Christmas party is on Thursday, so you have about 48 hours to let me know. Because then that morning I need to do my makeup and I need to take a decision. So here's the finished look. I do like it with Velvet Jazz. It's a little bit more glam. It's a little bit more showgirl, I feel. And I'll probably wear my hair down. I'll wash my hair the night before so it looks its best. And then I think that is pretty much it. I really think this is a really nice sparkly look that is going to be easy to touch up throughout the day, because if I just do the base with the That's Taupe, I can wear it to work because I need to teach that day. So I'm not going to teach with this super sparkly eye, even though I probably could, but then it probably doesn't look as good anymore at night. So I'm just going to use a couple of things to layer over my makeup look that I do that day. But I do really like the look, the way they layer together, so I may just wear both. But yeah, lipstick-wise, Velvet Jazz is growing on me. I do like it. I do like it. These lights are super bright and super white, so it's going to look different. So I will be filming some other videos today, which are going to go up on Thursday. So you see it in natural lighting as well. But today is a super gray day, so I didn't want to just film videos in natural lighting because there isn't any. So it's the joys of December as a content creator, you could say. So yeah, thanks so much for watching this video today. Thumbs it up if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more by me. I do a full face makeup look once a month. Sometimes I center it around a brand. Sometimes I center it around my Shop My Stashes and just showcase some products that I want to show you. And this is pretty much how I like to do my makeup. So thanks so much for watching me here today. Thumbs up this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more by me, because I do come on here 4 times a week and I'll post a new video very, very soon. Bye-bye.